All right. So I'm taking a conflict management class, and I recently heard that I guess a gentleman was killed by a police officer. And I don't watch the news or anything, but I felt compelled to share some things. So what we're speaking a lot about right now is nonviolence, um, and as I understand it, um, all the protests going on have been nonviolent in nature. Yeah, but something in the back of my head made me remember about Antifa and a lot of other groups that were paid by, from what I'm understanding, George Soros. And there's got to be other uh, billionaires and people that pay people to disrupt peaceful protests and things like that. So, okay, so not excuse me for the nonviolence is a big topic, and I've never really understood what it was. I just thought of it as a definition, not being violent, but it's it's actually a huge thing, and it's a way to protest. Um, anyway, it's been done. It was done in the civil rights movement. It was done in the women's equality type of rights movement. It's something to look into, and I asked anybody do a little bit of investigation, or just look into it. It's good stuff. Um, and then I have this here. I'm gonna put the download so you can have this as well. I put it up on my drive and opened it so anybody with the link can download it. 198 methods of nonviolent action. This is pretty much like a blueprint on how to protest or boycott or make change without promoting violence. Um, it's really good stuff right now. I'm very interested in it, and I think everybody needs to. Well, I shouldn't tell anybody what they need or need not do, but um, anyway, if this looks interesting to you, um, I will have it in a link in the description so you can download it. Um, anyway, it's good stuff, and yeah. So okay, so let's get to it. So let's see what the mass media is saying about whatever this is. Okay, so all right, so and of course they're gonna overplay this, right? Has there been any mass media coverage about the peaceful protesting going on at all these state capitals, or are they just fear mongering once again? Let's find out. And I got a whole bunch of these pulled up, so I'm not reading through them. Um, Not all of them. I want to see and pick apart. All right, so this one says it's a Newsweek article. Photos show protests in Minneapolis over George Floyd's death turned violent as fires burn amid riot. Riot? Yeah, of course there's going to be riot. Anytime. Look, I just don't believe. Okay. It's like, okay, thousands of protesters fueled by anger took the streets of Minneapolis for the second night this week, demanding justice for George Floyd, an unarmed black uh, many who died in. Why does it? Why can't you just say an American? Anyway, oh my God, stupid labels. Many who died in police custody. Protesters clashed with riot police who used tear gas in an effort to disperse crowds as businesses in downtown Minneapolis were burned and vandalized. Violence erupted 2 days after a video showing former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck during an arrest that resulted in the latter's death, and hours after Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey called for Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman to file criminal charges against Chauvin. Let's see. Okay, so, first of all, people, talk about exploitation. Um, that is, I want, I just wish people would see how wrong it is to do these things. To look, I'm just gonna skip over that. Police have been violent on all types of colors and races for a very long time, but there are good police officers out there, and right now with all this COVID stuff going on, um, there's a lot of good police officers that have been speaking out and upholding these nonviolent protests. So I'm guessing. So this is all about has nothing to do with protests necessarily. I mean, it does, but like a riot is not a protest. Okay, what is being played right here? It's not going to change anything. You really think you can beat them with weapons? That's what they want. That's what all these Nazi, fascist, communist supporters. That's what they want. They want everybody and see it. It wasn't working. I feel like part of the agenda with all this COVID stuff was to pit people against each other. Because you're gonna have the people that worship the government and listen to every word they say as it is words from our Creator, which is not. But and then you're gonna have people like me that is actually gonna pick apart things that they hear and not just believe um, without finding reasons to have that conclusion mentally. So anyway, I'm not trying to knock on anybody or anything like that, but this is, oh my goodness. Okay, so this is the point. It reminds me of when let's see, when George Soros was busted being let's see, giving money to a whole bunch of like anarchist type militant type groups. And what better timing that, and I'm not saying that any of this is good about this gentleman dying. Of course it's not. It's never okay. It's never okay when anybody of any color, of any race, of any uh, whatever is abused and harmed by the ones that are supposed to be upholding the Constitution and protecting the people. It's more than tragic. But I'm sick and tired of seeing the media exploit a loss of life just to piss people off or split them or whatever, but it's never for anything good. What about the family? What about the family? And they got to see all this, you know. But the media doesn't care about that. Media doesn't care about your family. They do not care. The only people that make it and that high up in media are the ones that sell their soul, whether seriously or not. The point is, you have to. You don't. You don't rise in that type of satanic structure. Maybe I shouldn't call it that, but I mean, come on. Uh, you don't advance unless you are willing to say yes sir, no sir. How high shall I jump? You know what I mean? So, all right. So this is what I found. Found a whole bunch of these. Look, I got one, two, three, whatever. How many articles? List of 206 U.S. organizations funded by George Soros. Now, before I start reading and looking through this, we don't know if this is controlled information. You just never know. So always have discernment. Let's see. Okay. So this was an article on this. DC Clothesline airing. Oh, what? Blocked because of ad blocker. It seems that you were using. Man, what is the point of that? Yeah. Okay. So let me try to figure this out. It's ridiculous. I apologize. Here, I'm gonna pause this. Yep, that definitely doesn't pause it. It is still going, is it? Yep. So I am having. Okay. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Okay, I guess it worked and I did pause it. So, all right. So I just got rid of the ad blocker because I ain't got time for that. So this is 206 U.S. organizations funded by George Soros. Man, this is a lot. See, let's see. I know I'm not speaking. I should probably be speaking, but I'm just reading over this. American Civil Liberties Union. This group opposes virtually all post 9/11 national security measures enacted by the U.S. government. It supports open borders, has rushed to the defense of suspected terrorists and their abettors, and appointed former New Left terrorist Bernardine Dorn to its advisory board. American Constitution Society for Law and Policy. This okay, you know what? Hold on. Let's just read through it all. Okay. Apologize, I gotta drink some coffee. Damn it. You know what? I really do not feel like reading through all this. I really don't. I really don't. Let's see if we can pick apart some of the Arab American Institute. I see 9/11, so let's. Arab American Institute Foundation. The Arab American Institute denounces the purportedly widespread civil liberties violations directed against Arab Americans in the post 9/11 period and characterized Israel as a brutal oppressor of the Palestinian people. Okay, this is what I'm catching so far, actually. It's like in the name of peace, right? It's like these everyone, I know I've only read a couple, but it screams to me controlled opposition or like I don't know, man. Somebody out there has the words and can further dig into this cuz oh my gosh. I don't want to say a whole bunch of things, and assume or point fingers or nothing like that. I'm just saying George Soros should be looked into. Um, and all these, I mean, look at the list. Look at the list. Center for Social Inclusion. This organization seeks to counteract America's structural racism by means of taxpayer funded policy initiatives. See, it all sounds good. It all sounds so good, but I guarantee you there are devils underneath. Maybe I shouldn't say it like that, but controlled opposition. Controlled opposition. Imprint that in your mind. George Soros. I'm surprised I didn't see the Antifa up here. Did y'all see that? Antifa? Or what's the acronym for that actually? What does that even stand for? Because that's what came to my mind when I heard about this. It just the timing of this is what, and what I mean by this is this the Minneapolis, the George Floyd's death and everything. The timing of this in particular is just weird because these nonviolent protests have been uh, being heard, I believe. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm gonna put that link for the nonviolent 198 tactics or 206, or no, I'm getting these myself. Anyway, I'm gonna have that paper in the description so you can download it yourself because it's very important that none of our nonviolent protests be turned into chaos. And the whole point of me making this video is to show my support from in how I can. I am opposed to the lockdown, as many are. I'm opposed to germ theory. I'm finding too many holes in it. The more and thank you COVID for actually forcing me to research and find out the truth between your lies that your lovely mass media is spreading and the truth. So, it's amazing how God takes everything that the enemy uses or tries to do and makes good come out of it if you let him. So, thank you, Jesus, for that. Thank you, COVID. Um, and and a special thank you to everybody that's sharing their 2 cents, because that's what it's gonna take. It's just gonna take all of us just speaking out. But with that said, if these nonviolent protests are invaded by groups of people wearing all black or wearing any particular color or anything, George Soros controlled opposition, disrupt, like, I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like we should. I was supposed to put this out. I felt compelled to put it out. See what you can find on George Soros, um, and just exploit him, because I have a feeling one of his little groups are just around the corner. Okay, and that's the whole point of making this video. Most certainly, anyway, is that I have a feeling. Yes, it's just a feeling based on the analyzation of everything going on the past few months, that one of George Soros's little groups, or maybe a couple of them, are going to be battling each other. Control both sides, disrupt the peace. It would be all too easy, but we can't give in. You cannot give in. Turn off. I can't tell you what to do, but I would suggest turning off the TV. I would suggest turning off all news. All news. Do your own research and find your own conclusions based on stuff, but do not listen to these. They're mad people. They're absolutely insane. They're hell bent on control. They want power. They see you as grasshoppers, and it's not okay. It's not okay, and I'm not gonna stand for it. I still haven't worn a mask the whole fucking time. I go out. I have not changed anything about my life, except for how I'm doing my college, because I have no power in that. I have to do it online. I can't force them to teach, and it doesn't. You have to know your battles. You have to know. It's like the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, you can make a huge, huge, huge impact in our world today simply by speaking out in a non-aggressive, non-violent way and just plant seeds. So keep up, keep standing for what you know is morally right in your heart, and you won't fall. You know, they can do many things to harm us. They can even kill us, but you know what? I'd rather go out knowing that I was standing up for what I find morally just, rather than sit idly by and be a part of the final solution, as Bill Gates calls it. Yeah, did you know that? Did you hear about that? Bill Gates is calling this little vaccine answer to this COVID the final solution. Hitler? Anybody remember? Anybody learn anything about the Holocaust, or the final solution, or like Hitler's version of final solution? Yeah? No? Yeah? It can be very scary times we're living in right now, but just be there for all your brothers and sisters. Be there for your family. Get the word out. Do real research. Yeah, and repent the beast system. Don't take the mark or whatever. Anyway, before I wrap it up, I want to make sure I covered all the bases. I don't know. I just be on the lookout for mobs of groups of people with any name being under any group. Watch out for them, because in from what I've researched over the years, is that 9 times out of 10, those groups are organized by highly wealthy individuals like George Soros, and he will have, they will have, it's like they're all on the same team, but they act like they're, I don't know, it's so psychological and so just sick. um but yeah, these very wealthy people create groups, pit them against each other to cause chaos, to cause unrest. But we have to, this is how easy it is to put an end to that. You let those idiots kill themselves. You let those idiots fight each other. Whatever. But don't give in to it. Don't give in to the fear, and speak out against it every chance you get. Wake the people up around you. Point out all the lies that their little black scrying mirror, aka the television, tells them. Point out the lies. Do it with love. Do it with understanding and empathy, knowing that they are human beings that you are speaking to. Do not attack. Do not cut down. Do not call names. We were all babies once before. We have all been ignorant. We are all ignorant of some things. But if we can put down the barriers between us and come together and realize the common enemy is these liars that are trying to fearmonger and control us, we the people will always be heard. And that's all it comes down to. Thank you for watching, and I hope y'all have a wonderful evening or day or morning or whatever. Bye.